Good evening, everyone. Respected principal sir, teachers, and my fellow participants, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to our mock parliament session. Today we gather here not only to enact the proceedings of our nation parliament, but also to understand the values of democracy, debate, and decision making that form the foundation of our country. Mock parliament is a wonderful platform for us to experience how laws are discussed, opinions are voiced, and collective decisions are made for the welfare of the people. We will learn the importance of cooperation, critical thinking, and respect for different viewpoints. Let us remember that every voice matters and that meaningful dialogue is the key to progress. Let us begin our session and work together for the best outcomes of these parliamentary proceedings. Let us welcome to our speaker.
Honorable Madam Speaker, welcome.
Honorable Madam Speaker, आ रही है. Good evening, everyone. Let us start our program with our national song.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujata Sudhata Nadayaja Shitala Sasya Shyamala Mataram Vande Mataram Sumadhurabhashini Sukhadam Varadam Vande Mataram Vande
Now, I hand over the session to Deputy Speaker. Good evening to all present here. Welcome to our school mock parliament section. My name is O. Lakshmi and I will be guiding you through the opening procedure today. Here are the key groups and some of their main members. The ruling party, seated on my right, is the BJP party, holds the majority in this house. They will present their plans for the day's topic. Their leader is our Honorable Prime Minister S. Navadip. Other key ministers include Finance Minister C.H. Kaushik, Defence Minister S.K. Nasya, Educational Minister S. Harshita, Sports Minister B. Yogi, Child Welfare Minister T. Vaishnavi. The opposition party, seated on my left, is the Congress party. They are here to question the government and offer different ideas. Their leader is Leader of Opposition R. Hasini. Key members for the opposition include MP Y. Jagati, MP S. Manikanta, MP C.H. Manoj, MP C.H. Stephanie. The Speaker of the House, ensuring fairness and following the rules, is our Honorable Speaker P. Tejaswi, seated at the front. We expect everyone to be respectful and follow the rules today. I now hand over this proceeding to the Honorable Speaker to begin the session. Now, oath taking. I hand over this to Deputy Speaker. Now, let us call new ministers. Defence Minister S.K. Nasya from Gujarat Gandhinagar constituency. Ma'am, do you want to take oath or affirmation? Oath, please. In which language would you like to take the oath? In Hindi, please. मैं रक्षा मंत्री हूँ कि ईश्वर के नाम पर शपथ लेती हूँ कि मैं भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगी।
मैं भारत की संप्रभुता और अखंडता की रक्षा करूंगी। जय हिंद।
Educational Minister S. Harshita from Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram constituency. Ma'am, do you want to take oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
In which language would you like to take the oath?
English, please.
Please. I, S. Harshita, do solemnly affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as law established. I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India. Thank you. Finance Minister C.H. Kaushik from UP, Lucknow constituency. Sir, do you want to take oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
In which language would you like to take the oath?
English.
Please.
I, C.H. Kaushik, Finance Minister of India, do solemnly affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established. I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India. Thank you.
Child Welfare Minister T. Vaishnavi from Telangana, Suryapet constituency. Ma'am, do you want to take oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
In which language would you like to take the oath?
Telugu.
Please.
వైష్ణవి అనే నేను భారత రాజ్యాంగాన్ని నిజమైన విశ్వాసంతో మరియు నిష్ఠతో పాటిస్తాను అని దైవ సాక్షిగా ప్రమాణం చేస్తున్నాను. భారతదేశ సార్వభౌమత్వాన్ని మరియు అఖండతను కాపాడుతాను.
Now I hand over the session to our Honorable Speaker.
Arbitrary reference. Bomb blast in Delhi. We have gathered here not to celebrate but to reflect. This winter season, as we look forward to the promise of a new year, it is important to remember the challenges and tragedies our nation has recently faced. In the last month, India has once again been ravaged by senseless acts of terrorism, aimed at disturbing our peace and testing our resolve. Let us maintain 1 minute silence for Delhi bomb blast. Everyone, please take your seats. In April 2025, the peaceful tourist meadows of Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir were shattered by a brutal attack that claimed the lives of 26 innocent people. This was not a random act of violence. From then, we saw many incidents which claimed the lives of people. This includes Karnool bus accident, RCB stampede, and recently happened Delhi bomb blast. I request the Prime Minister to respond for this and maintain peace in India.
Honorable Speaker, the report bomb blast, the Karnool bus accident, the Ahmedabad plane crash, and the Pahalgam terrorist attack and RCB stampede incidents are very tragic events. I express my deep condolences to all affected families. Our government is taking following steps. 1. Stronger national security and special investigation team for terror-related cases. 2. Improved safety in public events to prevent stampedes with better control and emergency arrangements. 3. GPS and speed control systems are installed in every bus to prevent road accidents. 4. Stricter safety checks for aeroplanes and upgraded airports. Our goal is simple: to protect every citizen and prevent such accidents in future. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Honorable Speaker. Good evening, Madam Honorable Speaker. I would like to raise the questions against the Defence Minister S.K. Nasia. I would like to ask the first question about Ahmedabad train crash occurred on 12 June 2025. As it belongs to Gujarat constituency, what are the official preliminary findings from the aircraft accident investigation regarding the cause of the crash, specifically regarding the abrupt movement of fuel control switches?
I request number 25 SK Nasia, Defence Minister, to respond for this.
Honorable Speaker, respected members of the House, now I would like to answer the question. As investigation by the aircraft accident has said, Air India 787 to 88 crashes nearly in Ahmedabad because fuels of vehicles engines have been cut off. I prefer all the Indian carriers have low-cost airlines like Indigo, etc. We have been taking some emergency precautions to avoid it. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Speaker. I would like to raise a question against Education Minister. Is about the National Education Policy 2020 emphasis skill-based education. What is the government doing to ensure that the new skills being tough or aligned with industry demands and improve the employability of our graduates? What is the current placement rate for students in skill-based courses and what are the plans to improve these rates?
I request number 10 S. Harshita, Education Minister, to respond for this.
Sir, I'd like to answer the question. We are actively collaborating with industry leaders and academics to design and update our curriculum to meet the evolving needs of the job market. We have established a national skillful framework and are increasing the integration of internship and practical training into all skill-based programs. We are also focusing on the self-employment among our youth. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I am raising the question to the Finance Minister. What are the economic strengths and stability of India?
I request number 17 C.H. Kaushik, Finance Minister, to respond for this.
Honorable Madam Speaker and respected ministers of the House, the global economy is currently navigating significant policy uncertainties. Yet, India stands out as a shining exception with strong macroeconomic stability. Inflation has been well contained and is moving towards the 4% target, with core inflation at 3.1%. Structural reforms such as the GST and IBC have fundamentally changed India's business landscape, promoting a better culture and formalization of the economy.
Good evening, Honorable Speaker. Now I am raising the question to the Child Welfare Minister. How does the government plan to address the issue of child labor, including its prevalence in the informal sector? And what support systems are in place from children rescued from child labor?
I request number 51 T. Vaishnavi, Child Welfare Minister, to respond for this.
Honorable Speaker, respected members of the House, we have seen class against child labor and are increasing inspections to enforce them. We have also launched campaigns to enforce them, to raise awareness about its harmful effects.
from rescued children, we provide immediate rehabilitation, including shelter, education, and consulting through organizations like the Child Welfare Committee. The focus is on rehabilitation and ensuring children receive a quality education to prevent them from returning to labor. Thank you.
Happy evening, Honorable Speaker. I would like to raise a question against the Sports Minister. What specific steps is the ministry taking to identify the mature talent from young age, particularly in rural and remote areas?
I request number 55B of the Sports Minister to respond for this.
Honorable Speaker, I am going to answer the question. The ministry is actively expanding the Khelo India scheme to establish more centers across the country, focusing on broad-basing sports and talent identification. These centers will be equipped to train budding athletes and provide them with the necessary facilities and coaching. And additionally, like Meet the Champions program will bring allied champions to school to inspire young students. Thank you.
My next question to Defense Minister. What steps in the ministry taking to enhance the surveillance and intelligence gathering along the nation's extensive coastline and land borders?
I request number 25 Defense Minister S.K. Nasir to respond for this.
Defense overall, including use of military satellites, multi-program approach, technology integration, infrastructure development, and inter-agency cooperation, approaching coastal surveillance network, community integration, etc. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, my next question to Education Minister is about the rising costs in the private education sector and the move towards loan-based higher education financing are increasing the financial burden on middle and lower income families, leading to high dropout rates in secondary and higher education. What measures is the government implementing to regulate private school fees and ensure that quality education remains affordable and accessible for all citizens as a fundamental right?
I request number 10 S. Harshita, Education Minister to respond for this.
Honorable Speaker, I'd like to answer the question. Education is a public good and constitutional right. The government priority is to strengthen the public education, making it high quality as evidenced by the inauguration of new Kendriya Vidyalays and the focus on government schools. Through MP3, while private institutions play a role, we are working with the state's regulatory bodies to ensure fairness and prevent exploitation. Thank you.
My next question to the Finance Minister is there any inclusive growth in the private sector? Honorable Madam Speaker, respected members of the House, our economic philosophy is encapsulated in the PM's vision of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Vikas. We are focused on empowering all sections of society, particularly the poor, youth, women and farmers. This entails providing more space and opportunities for the private sector to foster innovation and efficiency, recognizing the risk-taking capability of our youth, who are no longer just job seekers but job creators. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, my next question to the Child Welfare Minister. What new policies or initiatives are being developed to prevent child abuse and neglect?
I request number 51 T. Vaishnavi, Child Welfare Minister to respond for this.
Honorable Speaker, the new policies to protect children from abuse and neglect include measures launched in 2022 by the Ministry of Women and Child Development, which promote family-based and non-institutional care. India also ongoing efforts and existing legislation such as the Act of 2012, which includes child-sensitive procedures for legal cases and the care and protection of children,
act which has been amended to provide care and protection for children in need. Modern legislation like the Digital India Bill 2023 also addressing emerging cyber threats. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, my next question to Sports Minister. What does the government ensure that its support for athletics is inclusive, reaches all sections of society?
I request Member 55 B. Yogit, Sports Minister, to respond for this.
Honorable Speaker, I am going to answer the question. The ministry schemes are designed and broad-based participation in mind, aiming to include individuals of all genders and age groups. This is achieved through grassroots level groups and by supplementing the efforts of state government, which have the primary responsibility of sports development at the local level. Thank you.
Paper. I request Number 17 C.H. Kaushik, Finance Minister, to respond for this. To be laid on the table. Now, 0 hour.
Honorable Speaker, my next question to Defence Minister. What specific measures in the Indian government taking to address the ongoing presence of Chinese personnel and infrastructure projects such as the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC) in the Gilgit-Baltistan region of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir? And what is the strategic timeline for securing India's sovereign claim over the territory?
Honorable Speaker, respected members of the House. Now I would like to answer the question. The Indian government has expressed concern over China-Pakistan Economic Corridor passing through Gilgit-Baltistan in Kashmir. India has launched diplomatic protest against CPEC projects in territory. It should decide in future. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, my question to Education Minister is National Education Policy 2020 aims to transfer our education system. Can you provide a detailed status report on its implementation across all states? What challenges are being faced and what steps are being taken to address them?
Honorable Speaker, I'd like to answer the question. The implementation of National Education Policy 2020 is progressing well, with various states adopting on fundamental literacy and numeracy, and integration of vocational education. Challenges primarily involve infrastructure, teacher training, teacher development, etc., and ensuring equality access between rural and remote areas through increased budget. Thank you.
The government has introduced the Central Exchange Bill and the Health and National Security Cess Bill. Why is the government resorting to new cases and taxes?
Honorable Speaker, respected members of the House, the introduction of this bill is a strategic measure to rationalize our tax structure and to secure necessary funding for critical areas. These are considered symbols, and the taxation structure is designed to discourage consumption and maintain high prices for health reasons, while diversifying revenue streams in a fiscally responsible manner. These measures are part of a broader agenda to modernize regulatory frameworks and ensure long-term economic stability. Thank you.
My next question to Sports Minister. What policies the government implementing to
implementing to ensure this holistic of athletics, including the access of sports, nutrition and physiological support.
Honorable Speaker, I am going to answer the question. Highlight schemes such as the National Center of Sports Science and Research, the Target Olympic Podium Scheme, and the provision of support staff and foreign coaching to promise athletes. Thank you.
Now, breach in India. Breach in India refers to significant data breaches that have affected millions of people, such as the 2023 ICMR data breach, affecting an estimated 815 million records, and the 2021 Air India data breach, impacting 4.5 million passengers. It can also refer to environmental breaches, such as the high rate of districts exceeding national air quality limits for PM 2.5 pollution, especially in winter. Next, message from Upper House. Here is a message from Rajya Sabha. There were heated exchanges over an issue known as the Special Intensive Revision SIR of electoral rules. What do you think of it?
Honorable Speaker, my response on SIR, which stands for Special Intensive Revision, is by defending the exercise as necessary for the purification of voter list and criticizing the opposition's protests as drama. Our government will take following steps: support the EC, purification of voter list, criticism of opposition. Thank you.
Now, welcome to Foreign Parliament delegation. Let us welcome Foreign Ministers P. Bhagyashree and D. Saket, appointed by the President. Now, let us welcome our Vice President K. Nagachandru. Conclusion. Evaluating the success of this event in achieving its objectives, such as providing practical knowledge of parliamentary procedure, steering critical thinking, and improving communication skills. Now, let us conclude it with our national anthem.